we're going to deflask a denture that has been processed. We've let it cool so we can touch it again. And loosen each of these screws that are holding it together and pull those off. We can unscrew this and we'll put it away. Then we're going to take one of these and stick it in this little slot right here and just twist it. Now we also have this right here, which is a little bit stiffer, and it fits right in there. There's one, two, put that back there. Okay, so we've broken the first part out. Now we're going to take a chisel, a hammer chisel, just going around the edges to take it out. There it goes. Now we'll just go through the stone in different areas. And just get the material to break off around the denture. The rest of that we'll take out once we cut the screws out. And let's get this last little bit of stone out of here. For the heck of it, you can get the rest of this out of here too. It's rare for it to actually break out like it did. It actually left the master cast pretty much intact. Takes time, and you just gotta keep going until it finally breaks through. there is a hole back here on the back, and sometimes you can add compressed air to the back of that, and it'll let it come out. And sometimes it won't. So we'll come back and play with that again in a little bit.
It's not doing it, huh?
In the meantime, we're going to stay with this guy right here. We'll take a large burr. We're going to cut the screw off. Now the purpose of the screw is to act as a channel to allow the acrylic to come in to where the wax was, and it fills in where everything was. Then we cut that off. Okay, now you can see I've cut that screw. Now we'll come to this one here. And from there, I'm able to take this off.
Wait, okay.
So now we're going to finish off the last little bit. This stone was put here just to kind of help hold the lower plate in place, or the metal plate in place. Okay, and then we'll just clean this up. Now the last thing we're going to do is get the rest of the acrylic out of this plunger assembly. This is the pathway into the flask.
It's time to clean it up and put it away.
So I'm going to set that right into here. I'm going to set that right in place, and I'm going to set it right underneath this little plunger right here, and I'm going to activate the plunger, and hopefully I'll hit it just the right angle. Don't want to break anything. And that pushed everything out nice and clear. This gets put away along with this.
Piece of acrylic came out. Where did it go?
Right there's your piece of acrylic.
Go.
Okay, so now we've got the denture that's been deflasked. The next step is to come in and just clean off the edges so that it's nice and smooth. As you're using it, actually use your thumb on the denture just to stabilize it. You can clean the extra material off. Now in this particular model, it looks like a tooth dislodged itself right here. It won't affect the denture at all, but we do have a place here where the tooth isn't in the place. We're going to leave that there because it's acrylic. And that'll probably still work, but we could go in and cut that out and put a new tooth back in that spot. We're going to keep getting all of this plaster off of here. Get rid of all the extra along the outside. Now this looks really thick right in through here, and it's really common if you take a look at my face right here. So the denture fits right inside here, right up against the upper ridge. When you move your jaw sideways like this, there's a process, there's a bony piece on your condyle that moves this way, and it will come in, it will squeeze the area where this goes. So if this is really, really thick and bulky, as you move the jaw forward, it hits that and then knocks the denture loose. So we're going to thin that down just a little bit. And I'll do some of that right now, and then the rest I'll check when I'm in the mouth. But the probability of needing it that thick are pretty slim. Then I'm going to catch these edges right along here. I've got an area where the denture was a little bit flat, so just take a little bit off. Get rid of the extra materials. Now if you look really close, you can see the undercuts right under there. Those undercuts are going to cut into the patient's gum. They just won't be able to take those sharp edges and have them come out. So we'll adjust that just slightly so there's no sharp edges inside the denture. Then we'll do the rest when we get into the mouth with the delivery. Getting rid of all the extra stone. It has kind of a vertical area coming down in between the teeth, and then a slight area under here, so you have just a little bit of a ridge right there. That's kind of where the bone is underneath. This part up here where it's fairly thin, I'm going to roll it just a little bit so there's no sharp edges. Notice this side over here is not near as bulky as the other side is. And then this inside area right here. Notice I've gone from this kind of a grip to more of a pencil grip, but I still have my finger as a fulcrum. Now I'm getting rid of the extra material right here for the palate. Now, as I'm thinning, see how there's kind of a sharp edge right there? That's the finish line for the partial denture framework. When that part comes off, the rest of this will just flake away. Do you see that? Just flake right out. Coming in here, I'm going to thin it out so the tongue has a little bit of extra room. And I'm tapering it down so that it doesn't look thin, thick and bulky like that side is. Bring it all the rest of the way, nice and contoured. And this reestablishes about what the contours of the mouth would be like if you didn't have a denture. You try not to have something that's big and fat and thick and bulky. You like your partial to be more refined for your denture. See that tapering edge?
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it a lot more comfortable for the paper as they get used to it. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to a smaller burr. Not the last thing, one of the next things I'm going to do. Switch to a smaller number 5 round burr. And I'll use it to take out a little bit of stone. We only had one tooth left in his mouth. We're making the denture fit right over the top of it so that it kind of snaps into place. Helps when you don't drop it on the floor, huh?
What happened?
You notice we've gotten most of the stone away from here now. The last little bit we can either play with a drill like this and just kind of tweak at it, or we can come over here and use a sandblaster to help us out.
Okay.
Now you'll notice, can you see okay?
Yeah.
Look down in here. See the plaster on the teeth?
There's a glare.
There we go. This knocks all of the extra stone. So we've got almost everything done here. Notice we've got a little bit of a bubble right here. So I'm using a tiny Fisher burr. I just want to kind of control the bumps around here so that it doesn't have any areas that look funny. And this is just a very light touch. See, there's a little bit of extra stuff right here. Just a little bit at a time. Don't let it dig into the teeth because it'll cut in really quick. That's where a bubble formed when the investment was being done. There's a little one right here. See a little bit of a void right there. Just coming in. I'm using the flat part of the fissure burr with its angle to go right along those areas where the gum would. So it almost looks as though the tooth is literally growing right out of the gum. Move that down. I don't want the cheek to get pinched right back in here, so I'm shallowing that one down. Because right here, if you have a lower denture, the heel of the denture likes to fit right against in here. And it comes up and it'll bang right into that spot and make it not, it'll make a sore spot, and we don't want sore spots, so we don't have to have them. Okay, this one here, once again, I'm going to thin this down. Make sure you got rid of all of the little rough areas. And the last thing to do will be to polish the denture. Pause.
Okay. Question real quick. Is there a hole where that tooth, there's an extra tooth in there?
Right there?
Left in there?
Yeah, that tooth popped down into here. It got knocked out of here.
Did it create a hole on the inside? What's that hole?
No, that hole's where the tooth is.
Okay. Does that get filled in?
No. So, I put water on this rag wheel. We've got a little bit of pumice right here. We're going to take that pumice, use the fine pumice to smooth and polish the denture. notice this has a metal pallet that allows us to make it much stronger and much thinner for the patient. Plus the metal transfers the temperature of the food that they're eating, so it feels more natural. If you add implants later, those implants can be used to stabilize the denture, and if you have enough, you can actually cut the pallet out of the denture and still have the metal framework from inside to keep everything strong.
Is that preferable? Your tongue can feel the top of your mouth.
I like it a lot better, yeah.
Yeah. More feeling in your mouth overall.
We'll come back in and fix this part right here with a new tube. But for right now, the denture's polished.
Let's see the part you're talking about. Hold it still for a little bit longer.
That's where the tooth came out of here and actually dislodged right into here. It's not a big deal. We'd rather not have it there. But
How are you going to fix it later?
I just have to cut that out and add a tooth. So one thing that you'll notice about this denture right here is there's a little hole right there. That hole actually fits right over the top of the implant that he had placed years ago. It's the only implant he had left, all the rest had failed. And so we're using that implant, and this will snap right into place in his mouth. But notice how we no longer have any of the white marks. It looks pretty normal.
Except for the inside, there's some plaster marks there, right?
That's just that one too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have a solution here, an old ultrasonic cleaner that doesn't work anymore, gives us a place to store things. We just put the denture in here, and it has liquid that dissolves any plaster or stone that might be left on the tooth. We just leave it set there until we're ready to deliver.
And then we'll put a name on it and then deliver.
We'll put a name on it, then deliver.